afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks so much for joining us today. Augusta University has a new app to help pregnant women monitor pre- and post-pregnancy symptoms to catch preeclampsia early. We'll hear from our Renetta Dubose, who caught up with one woman who says the app saved her life. We'll also meet this month's Giving Your Best winner. But first, I want you to know about a great concert coming up at St. Paul's Church August 27th. The creation of Augusta's own Renaissance man, Dr. Rudy Volkmann. Here you see him with our Anna Christina back in February of 2021. Dr. Volkmann is internationally ranked as a fencer, and he wrote the best-selling book in America about fencing. He is owner and chief instructor of the Augusta Fencers Club, but there's so much more. He's also made it his mission to research and catalog every historic bell in downtown Augusta. As a musician, he composes, conducts, and has performed for years with area brass and jazz bands. And that's why Dr. Rudy Volkmann is with me in the studio today. And Dr. Volkmann, you have a very big concert coming up August 27th to benefit Camp Wonderland, which is an awesome camp, as we know, that the Augusta Players sponsors, and it's for children with autism.
It's true. It's
right.
A wonderful, wonderful cause.
But you've done these concerts before.
I have, yeah.
And I'm just so impressed because when you see the flyer, it has your name, comma, composer. This is your sonata for horn and piano.
It is, yeah.
And so give us a little preview of this show, of this concert.
Well, it's as the flyer shows, I'm bringing down a friend of mine, a recent friend of mine from Wisconsin, and to play this. In fact, I wrote it for her.
Yes.
And what happened was about 5 years ago or so, the Seraph Brass went to one of these concerts with a cause that Jamie does at the St. John's Methodist. The Seraph Brass was just fantastic. It's an amazing group, and she's the horn player.
Wow.
And I met her there, and we got to talking and have been communicating, and then I wrote her this amazing horn concerto.
That's
I
fantastic.
think it's amazing. So does she.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I said, well,
Wonderful.
she's a world-class player.
World-class.
So I set out to write a world-class piece. I mean, she's just relaxing for a week right now back in Wisconsin. She's just spent 2 weeks in Finland, you know,
Oh, yeah. Nice.
with Korea, and she's been everywhere with the group. So it's a wonderful. I think it's a wonderful horn concerto. It's quite difficult, and my good friend Winifred Goodwin, she goes by Winky, by the way. I think everybody who knows music in the Southeast knows Winky. She's probably the best pianist and certainly the very best accompanist in the Southeast. She's amazing.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. You know, you are so interesting to me because, as we were talking about before, and as the audience learned before, you are retired from Penn College.
I am.
You were the music director, that whole department chair.
Right.
And you are a composer. You are a musician. You have been in fencing for so much of your life. I'm just feeling that rhythm is really important to you. Rhythm and counting.
It gives me a heck of a downbeat when I'm conducting.
Seriously,
Yeah.
do you use a baton or a saber?
I've used both. Yeah, we did that one thing when they brought a sports thing to Augusta, and for grins, I had a saber. So
You did.
That was fun.
How did fencing become an important thing in your life?
I started college in 1959 at the age of 16, and I didn't have any money, and Olympic Junior College was available. Tuition was $50 a quarter.
Wow.
That's how it was. And but I was a tennis player, so I made it to the tennis team, and the tennis coach taught a fencing course, and he suggested I take his course, and well, you know, when the coach suggests you know,
Yeah, sure.
And I just fell in love with the game. I just never looked back.
Right.
It's just been part of my life ever since.
You're internationally ranked.
Yes.
And
Well, I was. I'm old. I was.
You've been a mentor to many people around the world, no doubt. And the book that you wrote, you've written a prominent book about fencing,
About-
and it's a bestseller in America.
It has been since 1995. I sell it through the various fencing equipment vendors, and they order it every couple of months. I get another order, and they keep telling me it's the best one. It's the one they sell the most of. So yeah, it works.
Have you ever helped any of your music students become interested in fencing when they find out it's something you do?
Well, the other way around.
Okay.
Oddly enough, we have a wonderful new violinist in town named Joel Wilkinson, who's just an amazing violinist. He was a concertmaster at Tanglewood, that kind of thing, and just decided he didn't like the politics of orchestral playing and that kind of thing. And so he worked his way through the Steinway School, and he came to Turner Music to be their piano tuner and builder, and decided he wanted to take fencing. So it went the other way.
Yeah.
And of course, a number of my musician friends have taken up fencing, at least taken the class. So.
Well, how, as one more musical thing that I want to ask you
Sure.
about, when did you decide that the bells in downtown Augusta needed to be cataloged? When did that become passionate for you?
Oh,
the
Lord.
church bells.
I did a bunch of work rebuilding the inside of the steeple of the First Christian Church back in 2002 or so. Long story, doesn't matter here, but they have a magnificent bell. And so I got interested in the bell, and then I live in the Harrisburg area, and I used to drive by the Enterprise Mill, not the
Sure.
Enterprise, sorry, the other one.
Sibley and
yeah,
all of those,
right, yeah, the King's Mill.
The King's
Mill
Mill.
has this huge bell up in their belfry, and I kept thinking, well, how can I get a look at that? And that impish little kid thing of me that said, so I said, well, how about I just organize a research project, and the Augusta Historical Society wrote me a nice letter telling whoever I showed it to that my research was important. And there I went. And I went into every old steeple in the entire area. It was just a fantastic thing.
That is so
It was
neat.
just fun to do.
This is why I call you a Renaissance man, because your interests are just so varied. And
Can I say one more thing about the
yes,
concert?
please do. Yes.
Well, the horn sonata is just one of the two main pieces. There's actually another piece. The brass quintet, the Savannah River Brass Works, is going to premiere another one of my pieces. It's actually my second brass quintet. I wrote the first one in 1967.
Really?
I've written 200 pieces for brass since, but not
Yes.
not another brass quintet. You know, four
okay.
movements, that kind of thing. And so we're going to premiere that too.
That is going to be a really, really exciting concert. And once again, Dr. Rudy Volkmann's Sonata for Horn and Piano concert is Sunday, August 27th at 3 p.m. in the beautiful St. Paul's Church on Reynolds Street. There's no admission charge, but a love offering will be taken to benefit the Augusta Players Camp Wonderland for children with autism. The Savannah River Brass Works will also perform, premiering his latest concert piece for brass quintet. Still ahead, complications in pregnancy don't necessarily end with the birth of the baby. Coming up on Jenny, one local woman is sharing her journey and hoping to help others during pregnancy.